Good morning, all you beautiful people. Happy Monday. Sorry, I haven't quite gotten myself ready today. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. I know I did. I actually did nothing, and it was fabulous. It's really hard for me to do nothing, but my last 2 weeks, combined with a really busy weekend last weekend, I was just dead. So I decided to take some time to myself, some time with my boys, relax, and give my body a nice and much needed rest. But anyways, if you don't know who I am, my name is Courtney Harris. I am the admin for Adventures in Keto. So welcome. We have so many amazing new members, so many amazing members who have been here from day one. So welcome each and every one of you. I wanted to jump on really quickly this morning and talk about something that I get asked a lot of questions about, and I can't believe I haven't made a video yet. So I wanted to jump on this morning and make a quick video and talk to you about the different types of keto lifestyle. And aside from that, to just talk about how, I'm going to pull up my sheet, but also to find what works best for you. So one of the challenges I came across when I first jumped on board to keto, it was super overwhelming. I've been a lifter for the past 10 years, so that was a big deal for me, especially going through keto flu and dealing with low energy. That was a big struggle for me. But I know when you first jump into a keto lifestyle, it can be super overwhelming, right? And you don't necessarily, there's so much misinformation out there about what is right, what is not right, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And what I noticed is, when I first began my journey, I wasn't a part of any keto groups. I wasn't a part of anything like that. So I didn't have that support or that information fed to me. It was more my own research and my own trial and error. You know what I mean? Our bodies are really cool because they will tell us what they do and they do not like. So listen to your body. And I think one of the cool things about being on a keto lifestyle is you become more body aware. When you're putting healthiness into your body, good foods and good fuel, your body begins to heal itself, right? From the inside out. And once you get to a point where you're feeling great, your energy's great, well, if you put something in your body to disturb that, your body's going to let you know, right? But so many times we live in a society where we live off of junk. So we've just adapted to feeling like crap. I myself, prior to keto, I used to struggle with every single day I had a headache. I had weekly migraines, sometimes debilitating. Sometimes I wouldn't even be able to get my work done for that day because I had such a bad headache. But it's crazy how I just adapted to it. Maybe it was last week, I got a headache one day, and it was really odd for me to just say, okay, how did I live with this every single day? You know, I popped a lot of Excedrin, I popped a lot of ibuprofen. Now I'm medicine free. I don't take any medications. I go the natural route. But I'm kind of getting off on a tangent. But our bodies will tell us what they do and they do not like. So anytime you're making a switch to whatever lifestyle you're moving to, whether it be a new fad diet, whether it be just subtracting this, subtracting that, adding this, become aware and listen to your body, and your body will tell you, what works and what doesn't work for you. But when I got more into keto and I really started looking into creating my own group, I started to join other groups. And I think the frustrating part for me was how much information out there was wrong, right? And how many times I would be in these groups and I'd see so much shaming going on, or so much pointing the finger. You know, it's so much easier to point the finger and tell somebody, oh, you're doing it wrong. Well, what if it's not wrong for them? You know what I mean? So when I first began my journey, let me back up. I followed standard keto for, a good solid year. I was very religious about tracking my macros, getting my water intake in, and following the standard keto diet, which is 20 grams or less net carbs per day, moderate protein, and high fat. Well, what I began to notice as my journey continued was that I could modify it to fit my needs. So depending on what your needs are, you need to find what works for you. So there is no one set way, right? There is no one way for everybody that's going to work. I myself follow more of a cyclical, whatever you want to call it, keto diet, where I allow myself to have 1 or 2 days where I am increasing my carbs. And what I notice for me, currently what I'm trying to do is I am not trying to lose fat. I'm trying to gain muscle. And the only way to gain muscle is by increasing your calories, making sure you're getting in sufficient protein especially. So about a year into my diet, I started playing around with my macros, and I noticed that by increasing my protein, I was able to hold on to more muscle. So that's what I began doing. I began not following a standard keto. I began following keto with modified protein, modified macros. Some people call it modified keto. Some people call it modified Atkins. But it's where you get more protein than what the standard keto calls for. It worked great for me. So what I've been doing even the past 6 months is I've changed it up even a little bit more, probably even the past 9 months. I'm following more of a cyclic keto diet where I allow myself 1 to 2 days where I carb load and I get more carbs in before a heavy lift day, which typically is legs, and my shoulders. I'm trying to grow my shoulders right now and my legs. So typically, and sometimes I'll change it. Sometimes it's the day of that I'll have my carb load day, and sometimes it's the day before. But typically, I would say it's the day of. And it's working fabulous for me. It's working fabulous for me because I also supplement with exogenous ketones. So they help push me quicker into nutritional ketosis. And then I fast. So typically what I'll do is after a carb load day, I will fast the next morning, anywhere from noon till about 2 the following day. So, and my whole point in telling you this is that what I do may not work for you, right? I've had a cheat meal from day one. And my cheat meals always include carbs, okay? For some people, that doesn't work. For some people, it's hard for their bodies to get into nutritional ketosis. It's hard for them to eat carbs because it gives them gut issues. Now that I've been keto for so long, it's been over 2 years, I am fat adapted. So my body knows that my primary fuel source is fat. It is no longer glucose. So I'm able to manipulate what I'm feeding my body to adjust to that, right? So when I do eat carbs, when I do eat things that I typically wouldn't eat on a keto lifestyle, it doesn't give me the gut issues that I used to struggle with my whole life. The next day, what I do notice is I have less energy. I drag a little bit more. And typically, if I do have a headache, it will be the next morning after a carb-loaded day. But the cool part is it lasts so short for me. Like I might wake up and feel a little crummy, but once I get up, I get my ketones in, I start drinking my water, and I start getting my body moving. That's when it all comes together. And it works fabulous for me. So, but again, what works for me might not work for you. And like I said, our bodies are awesome machines. They will tell us what they do and what they do not like. And especially once we get to a state to where we're healthy, our bodies are running efficiently on clean fuel. When you're putting all that junk in your body, all it's doing is causing oxidative stress. It's causing all this fluster of stuff so that you're not feeling the goodness and feeling the way that our bodies are made to feel, right? And to me, that's so important. It's so much more important how I feel. So I want to encourage you to, if you're brand new to keto, I might recommend starting off with standard keto. Start off with standard, see how it works for you, see what changes come. If you've hit a stall, we all hit stalls. Every single one of us hits stalls at some point or another. And when we hit those stalls, it's because our bodies adapt. So if you're a creature of habit like myself, you're used to your typical routine, change it up. Change it up. Check that water intake, see where your water intake is at. But most importantly, find what works for you. If you jump in and you're trying standard keto and you're still having some, and I would say give it at least 2 to 3 months to see how your body reacts. But if you start noticing, hey, I'm getting headaches, like one of my clients, she, even after moving to keto, she was still struggling with headaches and she was still struggling with some tummy issues. So what did we do? We began the process of elimination. So we first cut out dairy. We saw some great improvements with that. Then she cut out nuts. And that right there, she found out, was the culprit of the cause of her headaches. So find what works for you and do that by a process of elimination. And so many times I think what people make the mistake of when they jump into something, they jump into it full force. So back up. Let's talk about the process of elimination. Say you're 3 months into keto and you're still suffering with bloating, right? Try cutting out dairy and just dairy. Don't try cutting out dairy. Don't try cutting out this. Don't try adding this. Don't then try adding this. Do things in small increments, one at a time, and allow your body to tell you what is or is not going on internally. But do the process of elimination and find what works for you. But again, if you're brand new to keto, if you're jumping into this, start with standard. See how your body reacts to that. Then if you want to go maybe targeted, where you shoot for more 20 to 50 net grams per day, and you implement exercise. So I just want to encourage you, like I said, to find what works best for you. Okay? What works for me is not going to work for everybody. And then like a lot of it is playing around and it's trying new things. It's trying new products. And I will always share my story, especially if I try something that does not work for me. I will always make sure to share that. And same thing if I try something that works great for me. I will always share that as well. Exogenous ketones have been a game changer for me. I was 9 months keto before supplementing with them. And now they are the number one supplement that I take. And I've seen the most changes because of exogenous ketones. But they're not going to work for everybody. Some people might not feel any different after taking them. So do what works for you. Find what way of eating works best for you, right? We so many times we come from a society that's so judgmental that points the finger, that puts these labels on people, and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. To each is his own, right? To each their own. Different strokes for different folks. Find what works for you. If you ever have questions regarding keto, if you ever want ideas or recommendations, feel free to reach out to me anytime. That is the whole reason why I started this group, because this stuff is my passion and it fuels me. And I wanted to create a group that was supportive, had an open forum to where people could come and ask questions without getting scrutinized, without getting put down. So feel free to always share any ideas, ask any questions. There's never a stupid question, and especially in this group. And if you're in other groups that are making you feel stupid for your questions, don't have that hesitation here, because it's not going to be the same. So I am thankful for each and every one of you. I hope you are all prepared for an amazing week. I had one of the busiest weeks probably ever last week, so I didn't even get a chance to jump on and do a single live keto kitchen make a recipe. So this week it's on my agenda. I have quite a few recipes I'm hoping to make. So hopefully I will see all of your bright and beautiful faces on there. I hope you have an amazing week. Have an amazing Monday. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.